200 million black people of the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class, hewers of wood and drawers of water. Well, I predicated my view of man on the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men, regardless of color, are created in the image of God. Now, from this premise followed the equality of all men and the brotherhood of all men. The biblical injunction of Acts 17:26 reminds us that he created of one blood all nations of men that dwell on the face of the earth. I was most interested in brotherhood within his own race, because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must in some sense be black. If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal. Because whilst our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles, and since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only now started to see our God through our own spectacles. But we believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, God of Father, God of Son, God of Holy Ghost, the one God of all ages. That is the God in whom we believe, but we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. For 250 years, we have struggled under the burden and rigors of slavery. We were maimed, we were brutalized, we were ravaged in every way. We are men. We have hopes, we have passions, we have feelings, we have desires just like any other race. The cry is raised all over the world of Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. Do you think it unreasonable that we, the black world, should raise the cry of Africa for the Africans? The Negro is the man. We represent the new Negro. His back is not yet against the wall. We do not want his back against the wall because that would be a peculiar and desperate position. We do not want him there. It is because of this that we are asking for fair compromise. But the Belgians have control of the Belgian Congo, which they cannot use. They have not the resources to develop, nor the intelligence. The French have more territory than they can develop. There are certain parts of Africa in which they cannot live at all. So it is for you to come together and give us a United States of Africa. We are not going to be a race without a country. God never intended it, and we are not going to abuse God's consideration of us men. We are men, human beings, capable of the same acts as any other race, possessing under fair circumstances the same intelligence as any other race. Now Africa's been sleeping, not dead, only sleeping. Today Africa's walking around not only on her feet, but on her brains. You can enslave, as was done for 300 years, the bodies of men. You can shackle the hands of men. You can shackle the feet of men. You can imprison the bodies of men, but you cannot shackle or imprison the minds of men. Dive down, black men, and dig. Reach up, black men and women, and put all nature's knowledge to you. Turn ye around and make a conquest of everything, north and south, east and west. And then when you have wrought well, you will have merited God's blessing, you will have become God's chosen people, and naturally you will become leaders of the world. And as you bow down to the white man today, so a lot of races bow down to you and call you a race of masters because of the superiority of your mind and your achievement.
courtesy 77 redeemed 77. Let us say blessed love, salam to each and every one. We welcome you into the nest, the tiger's nest. And it is a joy that we could come once again together, that we can sup and elevate and take this to another height. Of course, we are celebrating at this hour, the mighty prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey. We are celebrating the beginning of his month as such. We are celebrating August at this time, which is considered Garvey. In certain places, they call it Garvey. This is the month of Garvey. So too, it will be like the 1st of Garvey or the 17th of Garvey. So yeah, we're celebrating from this time, and we are hitting up onto we're going up onto the 17th, celebrating within that cycle there from the 1st to the 17th of August. Yeah. And the 13th of August in between is a very key time. Of course, you know, the 17th of August represents the Earth Light, or what we would call the Earth Strong, or the Earth Day. Some would say the birthday of Messiah Garvey, Marcus Messiah Garvey. So we're speaking of 1887, the 17th of August, 1887, when Messiah Garvey came forth from the womb of his mother, and we are celebrating now at this moment the 1st of August and the Emancipation, which in 1834, at least within the Caribbean scope of things. This is 1834. You see, different parts of the world, you have a different level of history to look upon. But in 1834, and those of us here in the island of Antigua can speak of it on another level, because when this happened on the 1st of August, 1834, there was a 4-year apprenticeship period that came after that. So really, it did not really take effect in the other places until 1838, but still celebrated on the 1st of August, 1834. So we know, as the Black Christ teach us, that emancipation means repatriation. So it's still something that is definitely not fully completed at all. In fact, the psychological part of it definitely has gotten worse. The whole economic part of it, I mean, trust me, and the industrial aspect of it, I mean, to be honest, when you look at it, you don't know where the emancipation is really. But because we understand the science of it, and, you know, as the Black Christ said, the woman at this time should cry for the redemption of the black man and black woman, just like how we were looking at the video of the Emancipation March, and you have the Bobo Shanti woman them chanting the service itself. A few Nyabingi sisters even came in and be chanting, you know what I mean? Literally, like, you know, conducting the Nyabingi, eh? You know, just as the King Emmanuel teaches, let the woman go in front at that time. That's what it means, really, you know, man, have it all kind of mix up with, and stand up before the government house or the representative of the colonial government, you know, and with their black cloth around their belly, and bawl for the suffering, you know, sons and daughters, and even the wailing ancestors. So it's a high science, and this is the time we express all of that. So 1st of August, we give thanks, as I say, going into the 17th. But now the 13th day of August, what is interesting about that day now is that we are speaking of the time frame where the red, black, and green, the red, black, and green now of Marcus Messiah Garvey. This is the 100th year anniversary of the red, black, and green. I mean, 2020 is the 100th year anniversary of the red, black, and green. This means that it was in the year 1920 where the red, black, and green was established. So when we can follow that, this is history we're speaking of. Of course, you would know that we're talking of the time of the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World. And we'll be getting into that in a moment. That's the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro People of the World. These are the principles of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. and the God Garvey dropped that on the table, Rasta. You understand? And within that is the article that states that the red, black, and green stands out as the principal colors for the Negro people, which is the term they used in that time, is like saying black people today. And that's 100 years ago. So that is something that we'll be getting into. The 13th day, that's what this program is about, that 100-year anniversary, and how this is to put proof now, more proof, not proof, more proof on the table. I hear people saying the Olmec is not even African. The Olmec is not black people. I say, come on, now tell me, if you could look at an Olmec Ras and deny that this is an African, well, there's nothing else that we need to speak about. Yeah, but I must say, you know, it may sound strange, but it's good because I've never heard no one get up and run with the concept that Marcus Garvey is the prophesied Olmec as yet. And remember, I think we've been hitting this for sure decades now. Yeah, because remember it was 2003 when they said Idi Amin Dada passed, and even at that time we were aligning the closeness of Mars to another specific day. That's 2003. Remember when I asking you if I remember, you remember, but you wasn't born then. Yeah, but anyway, I'm speaking to my princess in front of me here. But yeah, anyway, but at that time, you know, the whole science of the Olmec was, you know, fulfilling itself live and direct, and Mars was closest to the Earth, the 27th of August, which is the same time, but still in August too, when they said that the emperor itself, not said, that's 1975, the 27th of August, that's when the emperor, you know, disappeared from amongst, you know, the naked eyes. And that's just a fact, and how you want to twist and turn it. In fact, you know something? I was just looking at The Night of the Black Tiger. Do you have a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger? This is what? This is the 2nd anniversary now of The Night of the Black Tiger. That means this is 2 years now since we have been doing since we have launched The Night of the Black Tiger, which is the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. You know, I'm gonna do something special for you, but first, before we do that, I want us to just tiger with me. They say, bear with me, tiger with me just a bit. I'm going to just give you a little excerpt of The Night of the Black Tiger. We have a few pieces of it on our YouTube channel, but I'm going to give you a piece that we never looked at, you know, and it's somewhat related to where I want to go with this presentation for the mighty prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey. So yeah, man, just get comfortable and let's do a little matinee for the moment. You will be looking at our 3rd, listen to me now, you will be looking at our 3rd full-length documentary. This is dovetailing off of the 7, the divinity of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, which came off of the Master of Ceremonies, the divinity of Haile Selassie I. And this is our 3rd official documentary, full-length documentary. Whatever else you think you may have seen somewhere on some DVD, I mean, yeah, those are works too. What you see on YouTube, yeah, it works, a little episode, and these are different things. All what we're doing here, you know, is just a somewhat of a lecture presentation. But these 3 products that we just spoke of are our 3 official full-length documentaries. So we're going to give you a touch now of the 3rd full-length documentary, which is The Night of the Black Tiger, the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Full joy this.
Has pyramids plus a face. A face that many of us have come. The mask of Lord Packard. In our previous DVD documentary, 7, which goes into the divinity of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, we took time to go into not only the mask of Lord Packer, but who Lord Packer is. Lord Packer was a great king of the main Olmec people. Lord Packer himself was considered to be the physical manifestation of Quetzalcoatl or Quetzalcoatl, the feathered snake. Lord Packer, who some say came to the throne at the age of 9, some say 12, lived to be 80 years of age. And his tomb, his pyramid, and more so his mask, has become an object of in-depth conversation as it highlights many different mystics. But before we get into the mask, he's a feathered snake. What is a feathered snake? The feathered snake is a concept that is not unique to the Mayans at all. It is a concept from the creation of civilization itself. The flying serpent, the snake with wings. It is a cosmic concept that you find in all the ancient traditions, whether it be African, Asian, Oriental, or Mesoamerican. They all consider the snake with wings as the physical manifestation of the Creator on earth. Quetzalcoatl. This is why you see the medical symbol as the two snakes with the feathers extending out, also representing the Kundalini. This is why in the scripture, the Messiah says, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall I be lifted up, comparing himself to the reptile, to the serpent, as it is an ancient tradition. But as we explained in depth in the documentary 7, this is more than just tradition. This is solar science. We're dealing directly with the 11 to the 11.5-year sunspot cycle. Within the rotation of the electromagnetic field lines of the sun, the equator electromagnetic field line, as well as the polar electromagnetic field line. As the equator of the sun rotates once every 26 days, or 28 days as it appears from the earth, and the polar electrical field line rotates once every 37 days, or once every 40.5 days as it also appears from the earth. Within this cycle of rotation, every 87.5 days, the equator electrical field line collides with the polar electrical field lines. And as a result of this collision, underneath the surface of the sun, these field lines continue to entangle themselves and coil themselves until after a period of time, the energy becomes so strong and so entangled that it bursts from under the surface of the sun, creating what appears to us from this distance to be sunspots. So in the recognition of the solar flares and the solar storms and the solar winds, when the 11-year sunspot cycle is seen on a computer graph, the impression that it gives is as if it is a snake with feathers. The cycle of the sun is represented as the snake with wings. The ancient ones who had no computer graph whatsoever had the concept of the snake with wings. Not just the Mayans, we mean internationally, throughout history, from the beginning of civilization, at least as far back as we can go. And your modern day religion, The God concept and the God figure continues to align themselves, Moses and Christ, with the snake. That is why the book of Malachi says that the sun, S-U-N, with a capital S, of righteousness shall rise, with healing in its wings. The sun and wings, in the same way that the snake and wings represent someone, because the sun in its cycle on a computer graph is seen as a snake with wings. So the ancient ones from the ancient times already comprehended the mechanics of the sun and the solar biology and astronomy in general and the physics of the planet Earth, where they could express in art form, in glyph form, a serpent with wings, and explain to those of us who read their records that the snake with wings represents the Son of God, S-U-N, S-O-N, that is the Creator in a physical form. Lord Packer is a feathered snake. Lord Packer is an Olmec. The Olmec are the original people of the Western world. They are also referred to as the shy people. And it is obvious that they are similar to the people of Uganda. They are similar to the statues of the Buddha seen in the Oriental world. They are similar to the statues seen in Cambodia. Angkor Thom and Angkor Wat. The Olmec represents the original black man, and it's without a doubt that the Olmec looks exactly like Marcus Messiah Garvey. What is interesting about the Olmec is that the Olmec is considered to be the forerunner. Like the Olmec, Marcus Messiah Garvey is he who comes and brings civilization to the people. It is he who civilized us, coming out of such a terror known as slavery. It is he that brought back the black pride to a nation once again. Up ye, mighty race, Africa for the Africans, at home and abroad, Messiah Garvey. All of our conscious organizations in this modern time had their foundation in Marcus Messiah Garvey and its movement. The Nation of Islam, the Nation of Gods and Earth, Nuwapians, Rastafari, even the consciousness exhibited in some black Christian conscious churches. Marcus Messiah Garvey, the Hebrew Israelites, Marcus Messiah Garvey influenced all of us and woke up a sleeping people to a higher standard of thinking. Marcus Garvey is one of the many Olmecs that fit the prophecy of the coming of the forerunner within its age and time. The mask of Lord Packer, when properly decoded, gives this in detail. A transparent mirror copy of the mask is taken and connected to specific dots. When this is done, the image of the snake with wings appears, the feathered snake. And the individual that wore the mask, Lord Packer, is a feathered snake. In another expression, the image of a bat appears with a bead in its mouth, wherein the owner of the mask, Lord Packer, the mask has a bead in its mouth, showing that he is the bat with the bead in its mouth, wherein the bat is the animal symbol of the Olmec, and yet still the bat is considered to be the male equivalent to the Kemetic Anubis, the jackal.
All right, let us leave it at that. And I could imagine, I could actually hear the sighs of, oh man, you had to stop it there. But it's all right. What I was doing, I was actually running the program straight from the drive itself. So what I should have done is to present the downloaded version, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. The point is, you could get your own copy. So from now, listen to me good. From now until the 17th of August. So let me be clear here. This is 2020, and this video is to be released. When I say the video, not what we were watching, what I'm doing here with you now, is to be released by the 1st of August, or maybe just before the 1st of August. So if you're watching this, if you're one of the first to watch this, it's either the 1st of August or just a few hours before the 1st of August or something close to the 1st of August. And from the 1st of August, or whenever this video is released from you hearing this, to the 17th of August, 2020. So that's 17 days. You know, if you do not have a copy of the Night of the Black Tiger, all you have to do is to email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. No long talk, no long conversation. Even if I just see the email come and it doesn't say anything, I would say, all right, give them a Night of the Black Tiger, and we will send the Night of the Black Tiger to you. Just like our books, it is an e-video. Just like our e-books, it is an e-video. As I said, what I was actually looking at there, what we were gazing on, was really from the drive itself. But you will download the product when we send it to you, of course. That's the best thing you should do, download the product and have it in your archives. And that's it. There's nothing, you ain't got to, nothing at all. Just say you want the video and we send you the video. So that's between now, the 1st of August, until the 17th of August. You contact us and say you'd like a copy of the Night of the Black Tiger, and it is yours. So what you were looking at there now, basically, as we say, that's what it is. Marcus Messiah Garvey is the Olmec. Marcus Messiah Garvey represents the Olmec. Now, is this something that we should debate or fight against? I think it is obvious when you see the connection, when you see the similarity in the feature, or the similarities in the features of Marcus Messiah Garvey. But yet still, outside of just the look-alike aspect of it, the mission of the Olmec is the mission of Marcus Messiah Garvey. That is why in the documentary, hey, listen, you need to get a copy of the Night of the Black Tiger. And the little piece that you got here, there are a few other pieces on the YouTube. Go and check them out. You know, when we talk about the Hudra Khan and when we speak about something else. But you don't need to check them out. Just email me, man, and I'll give you the Night of the Black Tiger. Even if it's criticized, they want to criticize it, well, just email me, let me give it to you so you could waste your time and try to criticize it. You know, because I'm saying that what we did in that documentary, we put all the facts together and perfectly aligned them. What we're going to drop tonight is not in the documentary, but I'm just trying to show you it's just more weight on the amount of evidence that you could find to prove a strong relationship with Messiah Garvey and the Olmec people, the Olmec Mayan people. So the Olmec is considered as the forerunner. And I'm sure all of you who have seen it could see how we highlighted the rubber people and the rubber situation on the 17th of August as it relates to the Firestone Rubber Company and Marcus Messiah Garvey's land in Liberia. On his birthday, connected to the Oli people, which is the Olmec. Oli is rubber. Anywhere you find the Olmec, you find rubber. So as the forerunner, not just the Jeep now, but the forerunner, the John the Baptist type of figure. John the Baptist is the most famous of forerunners in all aspects, whether it's religious, esoteric, in all of these aspects he's considered. That's the person you go to explain what the forerunner concept means. Just like John the Baptist came before Christ and said, well, here cometh the Christ. Well, yeah, that's the forerunner. So that is what the Olmec does. The Olmec is a civilizer. That's why we connected the Olmec to the Hulk figure. Because the Hulk figure is not just, what's his name? David Banner or Bruce Banner. One of them banners there, you know what I mean, flipping and turning, green and ripping up his brand new pants and shirt. You know? Bruce Banner, okay. That Bruce, Robert Bruce Banner, yeah. Imagine that. Robert the Bruce, Robert the Bruce, same Batman, because the Olmec is the bat, You know, what Batman name again? Bruce Wayne, Robert the Bruce, Robin and Bruce, Yeah, a next full-length documentary at hand, The Execution. Just look out for The Execution, working on it tirelessly right now. The Execution, Fairy Tale Folly Days and Nursery Crimes, The Execution, coming very soon, yes. So get the executioners ready, sharpen up the axes, off with their heads. Yeah, so speaking of heads, so when you observe the Olmec head structure, again, the Marcus Messiah Garvey, the Olmec, the Ollie, the rubber company, the Firestone, the connection with Messiah Garvey and his land, Liberia. And at the same time, again, the forerunner, in the same way as the Olmec even came before, as the men would say, the long bearded man with the robe. Yes, that's in Mayan philosophy, the long bearded man with the robe, which is considered to be the Quetzalcoatl himself that has come amongst them, and that is the feathered snake in flesh. So it is said that the Olmec, who the Olmec himself is a feathered snake, yet still, because the feathered snake is the Christ-like character. The feathered snake is he that represents the cycle of the sun. Like the program we did yesterday on the shock of the hour, we were speaking of Tutankhamun, the curse, as they call it, of Tutankhamun. Those of you who are listeners to the shock of the hour, you know, and of course, the listeners to the shock of the hour is not all of them listen to YouTube. So we will be furnishing them with an audio of this video presentation. But for those of you who are not the biggest YouTube fans of my shock of the hour people, this is a video that you could go on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and check as well, you know. So the science of, and as I said, previous night we were talking about Tutankhamun, the so-called curse of Tutankhamun, and the science of him being the feathered snake, the son of God, if you want to call it that, S-U-N-S-O-N, and you don't play with the ones that radiate that sort of energy. So yeah, Lord Pakal also represent the Olmec figure. This was seen in the mask of Lord Pakal. This is something we went in depths in the documentary 7 and even the Night of the Black Tiger. So yes, Messiah Garvey fits all of this. And of course, that is, you know, if you want to call it more on a celestial realm. But yeah, I want to talk now about the red and the black and the green. We're still talking about the connection with the Olmec. And again, we're talking about the red, the black, and the green. All right, my good brothers and sisters. Now, as we continue in this mission here of life, will bring you to many different things. And when you understand the esoterics, that is what happens. It's like the same cycle of the snake, circular hole in its tail. So now we have the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World, the principles of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. I am taking this now from, let me just, boom. Yes, I am taking this now from the History Matters www.gmu.edu. And this says here, I'm reading, after fighting World War I, ostensibly, pardon me, to defend democracy and the right of self-determination, thousands of African American soldiers returned home to face intensified discrimination, segregation, and racial violence. Drawing on this frustration, Marcus Garvey attracted thousands of disillusioned Black working class and lower middle class followers to his Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA. The UNIA committed to notions of racial purity and separatism, insisted that salvation for the African Americans meant building an autonomous Black-led nation in Africa. All right. Yeah. The Black Star Line, an all-Black shipping company chartered by the UNIA, was the movement's boldest and most important project, and many African Americans bought shares, of stocks in the company. In 1920, Black Star Line business meeting in Harlem's Liberty Hall brought together 25,000 UNIA delegates from around the world and produced an important statement of principle, the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the world. And it says here, the preamble, be it resolved that the Negro, be it resolved that the Negro people of the world, through their chosen representatives in convention assembled in Liberty Hall in the city of New York and the United States of America, from August 1st to August 31st, in the year of our Lord 1920, protest against the wrongs and injustices they are suffering at the hands of their white brethren, and state what they deem their fair and just rights, as well as the treatment they propose to demand of all men in the future. Okay, I think you get that. So the whole thing was taking place from the 1st of August to the 31st of August. So the prophet locked down the whole month. And we put in Black man business straight. We're not reading everything, but we just getting to a point. Number one, we complain, number one, that nowhere in the world, with few exceptions, are Black men accorded equal treatment with white men, although in the same situation and circumstances, but on the contrary, are discriminated against and deemed the common rights due to human beings for no other reason than their race and color. We are not willingly accepted as guests in the public hotels and inns of the world for no other reason than our race and color. 2. In certain parts of the United States of America, our race is denied the right of public trial according to other races when accused of crime, but are lynched and burned by mobs, and such brutal and inhumane treatment is even practiced among our women, or upon, our women. Practice upon our women. I'm going to read that again. In certain parts of the United States of America, our race is denied the right of public trial accorded to other races when accused of crime, but are lynched and burned by mobs, and such brutal and inhumane treatment is even practiced upon our women. That European nations have parceled out among them and taken possession of nearly all the continent of Africa. And the natives are compelled to surrender their lands to aliens and are treated in most instances like slaves. Now you see what Marcus Messiah Garvey have on his mind, although he's talking about the discrimination and, you know what I mean, we can't use the public place, etc., etc., etc. It's not like he's sticking on the civil rights level. He's gone beyond that. We're dealing with Africa. How is it that you have all Africa? We're not just saying so. Eh? This is high up on our agenda. This is number 3 on our complaint list, according to the list here. Number 4 says, in the southern portion of the United States of America, although citizens under the federal constitution and in some states almost equal to the whites in population and are qualified landowners and taxpayers, we are nevertheless denied all voice in the making and administration of the laws and are taxed without representation by the state governments, and at the same time compelled to do military service in defense of the country. Number 5 says, on the public conveyances and common carriers in the southern portion of the United States, we are Jim Crowed and compelled to accept separate and inferior accommodations, and many to pay the same fare charged for first-class accommodations. And our families are often humiliated and insulted by drunken white men who habitually pass through the Jim Crow cars going to the smoking car. Imagine that. So, you know, and the trains and the lorries and whatever it is, you know, we just got the bottom of the stick as always. Number 6, the physicians of our race are denied the right to attend their patients while their patients while in the public hospitals of the cities and states where they reside in certain parts of the United States. Our children are forced to attend inferior separate schools for shorter terms than white children, and the public school funds are unequally divided between the whites and the colored schools. Number 7, we are discriminated against and denied an equal chance to earn wages for the support of our families, and in many instances are refused admission into labor unions, and nearly everywhere are paid smaller wages than the white men. Now, so you could see that Marcus Messiah Garvey now bringing this, letting you understand to what you know, the things that we are complaining about. But after 12 of these complaints, in order to encourage our race all over the world and to stimulate it to overcome the handicaps and difficulties surrounding it, and to push forward to a higher, grander destiny, pardon me, we demand and insist on the following declarations of right. Number 1, be it known to all men that whereas all men are created equal and entitled to the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and because of this we, the duly elected representatives of the Negro peoples of the world, invoking the aid of the just and almighty God, do declare all men, women, and children of our blood throughout the world free citizens, and do claim them as free citizens of Africa, the motherland of all Negroes. That we believe in the supreme authority of our race in all things racial, may I tell you, that all things are credited and given to man as a common possession, that there should be an equitable distribution and apportionment of all such things. And in consideration of the fact that as a race, we are now deprived of those things that are morally and legally ours, we believed it right that all such things should be acquired and held by whatsoever means possible. Hear that? That we believe the Negro, black people, like any other race, should be governed by the ethics of civilization and therefore should not be deprived of any of those rights or privileges common to other human beings. We declare, number 4, that Negroes, wheresoever they form a community amongst themselves, should be given the right to elect their own representatives to represent them in legislature, courts of law, or such institutions as may exercise control over the particular community. We assert that the Negro is entitled to even-handed justice before all courts of law, and equally in whatever country he may be found. And when this is denied him on account of his race or color, such denial is an insult to the race as a whole and should be resented by the entire body of Negroes. Now, of course, we could go all through, and you obviously could see where you could get a look at this and get a copy of this, because we're going to skip now to number 39, and keeping in mind, as he said, from the first, and it's from the first, first 1914, the 1st of August, the Universal Negro Improvement Association was formed, right in Jamaica. The 1st of August, 1914. So the 1st of August has always been a very key date and time for us. The 1st of August specifically, in many ways still symbolize our freedom. So that's the Universal Negro Improvement Association. And even on the 1st of August, again, as you see here, in 1920, the gathering of the conference of the Negro world, from the 1st to the 31st of August, we locked down the month. So the 1st of August again become extremely significant here. Yeah. So it is said now on this day, the 13th now, we're dealing with the 13th, not necessarily this day, but it may be the 13th, you're checking this out. So on the 13th day of August, within that 1st to the 31st of August, on the 13th day of August, protocol or declaration 39, that the colors red, black, and green be the colors of the Negro race. 40 says, resolved that the anthem, Ethiopia, thou land of our father, etc., shall be the anthem of the Negro race. But 39 again, that the colors, the red, the black, and the green, be the colors of the Negro race. So if you have not heard it as yet, I'm sure especially those in the conscious realms of things, you will hear someone bring it up. I'm sure ones may have programs about it. I'm sure I haven't heard nobody touch it yet, but I know, it's not nothing to unravel. It's just a fact. 100 years ago, Messiah Garvey established the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro. And it was established that the red, black, and green is the flag for Black people. And this was done within the time space of the 1st, the 17th, so Marcus Garvey, Earth Day was there as well, the 17th, what you call the thing there, and the 31st, within that time frame where we talk about 1920, on the 13th day, what I say? The 13th day of August. It is the 13th day. So not the 1st day of August, no. Not the 17th day of August, not the 31st day. It's on the 13th day. So the flag is 100 years old, not the 1st of August 2020, So if it's the 1st of August today, 2020, the flag is not 100 years old yet. It might be soon there, but it's not 100 years old yet. Not yet. If it's the 13th, well, it's 100 years. If this is seen beyond it, well, we pass 100 years. But it was the 13th. What am I saying? So they say in Jamaican, what am I saying? It was the 13th day of August. Yeah. That we established that. Don't go nowhere. We just kind of getting started. We're not just getting started. In fact, we're almost done really, but you know, the main point we want to hit now, that's what I'm going to go for here. All right. So let me ask you, I'm sure many of you have heard of the Olmec calendar. The Olmec calendar is interesting. It has the Olmec at the front of it with his tongue sticking out, representing the ancient god known as Bes. Bes, you usually see Bes with his tongue sticking out. You know, Bes is considered to be the god of childbirth as well. So within the whole aspect of the Olmec calendar, I'm sure you would remember in 2012, people were talking about the world was going to come to an end on the 21st day of December because the Olmec calendar came to an end on that day. I've heard so many different versions of it. Someone saying that's not the real 2012 and Africa's 2012 is the real 2012. And there's so many different things people say, but the thing is, I'm telling you, on that day, the 21st day of December 2012. Now, I mean, scientifically, it is a deep time. On that day, the Earth and the Sun perfectly aligned with the Milky Way galaxy center, the black hole thereof, perfectly at the tip of the arrow of Sagittarius, perfectly like an eclipse. That is what happened in the astronomical world. That is a fact. You can't duck out of that one day. The Earth, the Sun, and the center of the Milky Way galaxy perfectly aligned. Because we're Sagittarius, the hunter, as they call it. The archer has his arrow pointed as he's pointing at the Scorpio in the ecliptic belt. That dark area, which you see, if you notice, the Milky Way runs between Scorpio and Sagittarius. The Milky Way looks like a river of milk going through the heavens. And there's a dark sort of area there of somewhat nothingness. That's in that center area of the Milky Way. Yet still there's a lot of light and bright cosmic, light, illumination around it. That's the energy from the center of the galaxy. So the Earth and the Sun align perfectly with the center of the galaxy on the 21st day of December 2012. That is just a fact. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody belief. Even if you take the main calendar out of it, that doesn't change it. But the main, as they call it, the Olmec main people, the Shai people, Shaite Kotle, the same Huracan, yeah, these people understood the science of the cosmics. So they knew that in 1,000+ years, they knew in not even 1,000+ years, just wait till we hit this number. They knew in 5,000 years, Olmec we talking now, and not the Mayans as you call them, the Olmec people, the same Oli people, the rubber people, the ancestors of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Follow me good and we show you what real ancestor worship is really all about. The same Oli people that created this calendar understood that on the 21st day of December 2012, not using these English numbers and terms, but they put it together in their language, but it's equated to that. They already understood that there would be a galactic alignment with planet Earth, the Sun, and the Milky Way galaxy center. They knew that. So that is why the calendar, that aspect of it came to an end at that time. But because we so caught up in superstition and we forget about the esoterics, we talking about world going to come to an end, and because the world will crash, we think that boy and people didn't know what they're saying and all of these different things. And let me say for sure, because I know I was at Greencastle Hill at that time, and you could feel the energy coming through. I am telling you, and for sure, not because it looks like nothing happened. Don't get it wrong. That don't mean nothing happened. And many things has happened since that happened. But some of us, I always like to say, listen, it's like when you get into a supermarket just before closing time. You may be the first or the last person to get in. And then when you get in, they say, well, the supermarket is closing. Shoppers, please pick up your last few items and get out of here. You know, but the point is that the supermarket is not necessarily closed yet. You could still pick up a few things, but it's closed. People out outside, they can't come in. It's closed, that's it. Nobody is coming in. Security, just give me a little pass. Nope, I need to go home to see my babies. I ain't giving nobody no pass. You come back tomorrow morning and get your stuff. But the people inside, they can still pick up. And even the security walks around and say, hey, brother, hurry up, man. We're closing and whatever. So not because it don't look like it closed, meaning not closed. So you may be living in the time where the supermarket closed. But because, you know, it looked like, you know, you still hear the cash registers, shing, 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 and people still picking up a few things and running through the aisle. So it looks like it's not closed, but time may be up. And I don't need the earth to align with the sun and the Milky Way to tell me that. Even when Haile Selassie addressed the League of Nations, brother. When Haile Selassie addressed the League of Nations, please don't underestimate the gravity of that event. And he spoke unto the world, the leaders of the nations, and poured out his wrath. This is scripture for with a pure language from beyond the river of Ethiopia. My suppliant, the daughter of my dispersed. Book of Zephaniah we are speaking of. So the Olmec people now, I'm telling you that they understood the science. And that is where their calendar came to an end. But then now, you're saying that's when the calendar came to an end, but you made mention of them like being like what, 5,000 or something years in time span. So when did this calendar basically begin that you could speak about it coming to an end? Now there's some different ideas of this. Let me read from here. This now is taken from, this is a lot of reading, yeah? So gotta start, I can't just start from the beginning, and we're gonna look to soon seal up. I don't want to hold it too long. This is from dartmouth.edu. Now it says here, of course, there are no bona fide archaeologists in, there were no bona fide archaeologists in Goodman's day. So little or no professional notice was taken to his deductions. A couple of decades went by before a Mexican astronomer independently tried his hand at the problem. In 1926, Juan Martinez Hernandez came up with a date which placed the beginning of the Mayan calendar one day later, August 12, 1314. At this time, however, the results was not ignored. Having been advanced by a professionally trained academic, of course, that did not necessarily make it correct. So British archaeologist John Eric Sidney Thompson put his mind to the problem, and a year later, in 1927, interesting time, published his findings based on his examination. The main eclipse tables, the correlation of 4 Ahua, that's how it's pronounced, right? 4 Ahua, 8 Chumku should be one day later still. He said, placing it at, follow this, the 13th of August, 3114 BCE. Now, basically what that is saying is that the calendar that we are speaking of again, which is the Olmec calendar, yes, it came to an end on the 21st of December, 2012. As I said, after 5,000 years. That's an old calendar. 3,000 years BC ain't no play around time. So it shows you that these Olmec people were real ancient people, not nobody for us to skip around and run around and try to dug out and dutch out, and especially for those who do not want to align themselves with these beautiful gods on the earth. Well, it's up to you. And they established a calendar. Hold on. We just watched a bit of the Night of the Black Tiger. There's nobody. Listen, again, listen. If you email me, my brothers and sisters, and as you can see, the Night of the Black Tiger is something that your children would eagerly sit down and watch if you're really serious about teaching them the truth. And you want them to learn about Marcus Garvey plus some mystics within it. The Night of the Black Tiger, you don't have to buy it, you know. Just email us. It's not something to put to show it, but just email us. We send it for you, it's there. And you look at that through and through. There is no denial. I'm not asking, I'm not saying check it out and tell me. Tell me what? There is nobody that can even begin to try to refute anything that we put down on the Night of the Black Tiger, especially in the sense of connecting Marcus Garvey, not just to the Olmec, man, to more than Olmec. We're dealing with the supreme being. That is why I love what Brother Runoko Rashidi says. Brother Runoko Rashidi says that, listen, he don't really, you know what I mean, he don't really in the thing of looking at human beings as gods and them kind of things. But if there was a person that he would consider to be God, it would be Marcus Garvey. It's Bobo Shanti alone, that highlight Marcus Messiah Garvey as anything in them realms. It's Bobo Shanti alone that connect Marcus Messiah Garvey and Idi Amin. That's a King Emmanuel concept. And one would say the hailing Marcus Garvey. And one, oh, you're hailing Emmanuel and Marcus Garvey. Oh, you're not hailing Marcus Garvey. I mean, I hailing Marcus Garvey's, you know me, for lack of a better term, God, brother. Look for me in the whirlwind, and he never failed. All of these things can be seen in the documentary, The Night of the Black Tiger. Check it out. I want you to watch it. Check it out. And when you look at that, there's no denial of who Messiah Garvey really is. And he represents, he is an Olmec, he is. You don't need all that science to prove you're Olmec, you know, it's just, you can just look at you and see what's going on there. You can just look at you and see. But just to go beneath the surface, we broke down the algebra. And it's undeniable. Undeniable. So I'm saying that the red, black, and green flag, which we see spoken of in the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the world. Marcus Messiah, listen, this is serious. Marcus Messiah Garvey has a declaration. And within this declaration, it speaks about our banner, the red, black, and green. And this declaration here was established when? When was this declaration established? 1st of August? No, not listening. When was this declaration established? Well, it was sometime in August. It's the 17th, the 13th. Yeah, the 13th. That is why the 13th of August is what we celebrate as it relates to 100 years since we are flying the red, the black, and the green. 100 years. And that was established on the 13th of August, 19. 20. Do you understand the importance of the flag? Do you understand the importance of the Declaration? Marcus Messiah Garvey see this as a new beginning for us as Black people. And if you only take seriously my declaration, this is a brand new era. This is a brand new empire, never to be stopped again. The Olmec calendar began on the 13th day of August. 3114 BCE, according to the scholars, the very same day that Marcus the Olmec Garvey established the Declaration, a brand new calendar, brand new beginning. Red, black, and green is 100 years old this year. Tell them you heard it in the tiger's nest. He was 33 years old when it happened. He was 33 years old. I think we have done enough programs dealing with the number 33 for us to understand from latitude, longitude, vertebrae, masonry. I think we've done enough programs on the 33. If not, go and check a nice program we did on the number 33 on our YouTube channel. So yes, we celebrate Messiah Garvey and we give thanks for his presence with us. With all respect and honor to that Black God in flesh. King Olmec himself and the very said Idi Amin. So I'm just encouraging everyone, just email me, man, preciseisac27@gmail.com and say you'd like a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger. And there's nothing else, you don't need to know nothing, no shock of the hour. Well, of course, you should be a subscriber to the shock of the hour. So you can subscribe, whether it's a monthly subscription, a 6-month subscription, or a yearly subscription, and you get the program, The Shock of the Hour, sent to your email inbox every single day after it is recorded. Remember, it's a Monday to Thursday program, evening program, The Shock of the Hour, something that will definitely, advance you. And of course, remember our international homeschool program, for sure. So we definitely give thanks once again, as we said, all blessings and honor. And as I said, you could definitely contact us. Remember also the books, you can get them on Amazon right now. For those who prefer the Amazon, that is Anu, Ancient and Modern, and The Heavens Declare the Glory, and The True Biblical Land of Israel, all written by the Honorable Precise. Yeah, give thanks to the mighty prophet of old, Marcus I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, blessed Lord.